Good morning, students, and welcome to the class of English. Children, again, I'm in front of you with some important questions from the chapter My Mother Writ, 66 by Kamla Das. So let's begin the class. So, children, this stanza is there, and based on it, some questions are there which you will answer. So, driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doors open mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away. So, it is a stanza, and like this, the questions will be asked in exams. So, now the first question is the poetess' aged mother was dozing off, leaning against. So choices are there: the window of the car, the luggage bag, the poetess body, the seat. Now, children, it's very difficult to sometimes answer this question, but if you read the lines, easily the answer will come. Like driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me. Beside me means next to me. All right. So it suggests that the mother was leaning against the poetess' body. The poetess' mother looked like a corpse as she was dozing off. Her face had wrinkles, her face was pale and colorless, she was too weak. So, her face isn't like that of a corpse. So, I think the answer would be her face was pale and colorless because with the help of face only the girl recognized. The poetess wants to express the idea that the pain or the fear was haunting her sense. So clear? So that pain was of his childhood. So as is clear in the poem. So answer would be the poet wants to express the idea that the pain, fear was haunting her sense. School time, adulthood, college time or childhood. So childhood would be the answer. The poetess wants to put away the haunting thought of, I think, losing her mother, parting her mother, with whatever the suitable word will be, you can use here. Any word can fit here. Now, next extract. But soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. So, looking out to the car, what did the poet see? Trees and children, a few huts, a lake, or a bridge. So again move back to that stanza, but soon put that thought away and looked out at young trees sprinting. So what did the poetess see outside? Young trees sprinting and merry children coming out of the homes. So here comes the answer. Looking out of the car, what did the poet see? Trees and children. Trees and children symbolize each of the following: death and decay, youthful strength and vigor, old age, the sadness of the mind. See, children, here the contrast has been created between the mother and the outside trees and children. So, children and trees are young. So, old age has been contrasted with the youthful strength and vigor. So, youthful strength and vigor would be the answer. What thought did the poet try to put away from her mind? So, I think it was a childhood fear of the poet, that is, the thought about her grandchildren, the problem with her work, the thought of her aged mother, her future plans. So, I think the thought of her aged mother. She didn't want to lose. Next question: the poet looked at the car and saw Mary dash coming out of their home. So, the answer is Mary children, as it was written in the extract. Next stanza, but after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her van, pale as the late winter's moon. So the poet compares her old mother's face to a. So it is, as you can say, last line, I looked again at her wan, pale face as late winter's moon. So here the mother's face has been compared to late winter. And children, if you have observed during winters, if you see the moon, it appears slightly yellowish. Okay, actually it's a geographical phenomena which I can't explain it here. But during winter, the moon is a little bit yellowish, pale. So the pale face of the mother has been represented by late winter's moon. Where was the poet standing? So clear? But after the airport security check. So it means the poetess was standing at the airport. What did the poet look again at the airport? Her luggage, her car, the pale face of mother, the air timetable. So I think I looked again at her. So her here signifies the mother. So the poetess again looked at the face of her mother. The poet compares her old mother's face to the late Clear's winter's moon. Next extract. And felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. The children, next question is feeling helpless about her mother. What did the poet do? So definitely, she, as you can see here, because she did not get angry, she did not console her mother, she did not feel frustrated, she smiled and smiled. The familiar ache of the poet is related to her own life, her daughter's life, losing her old mother, her career. So I think, and felt that old familiar ache. So old familiar by childhood's fear. And what was the childhood fear of the poetess? That is of losing her mother. The smile of the poet expressed which feeling in her heart? So the smile of the poet expressed uh, sadness, frustration, happiness, hope. So I think the smile suggested sadness. See you soon, Amma. The poet says this word to her, I think, mother. So here are the answers. Smile, smile, losing her old mother, sadness, mother. Now, children, here are some short answer type questions also, which I am discussing along with these MCQs. Okay, because they can be asked from the poetry section. So, what is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? So, when the children poet sees the pale and corpse-like face of her mother, her old familiar pain or the ache returns. And what was that old familiar pain? That is, perhaps one day she will lose her mother. Although it is a natural phenomena that one who has taken birth will die one day. But I think nobody wants that the near and dear ones should depart, with whom all of the people have spent their lives. Everyone wants that their near and dear ones remain with them. So now she entertained this fear since her childhood, but the poetess was so much attached to her mother that whenever she used to leave her mother, she was engrossed with this fear and pain that one day she will lose her mother. See, aging is a natural process, and time and aging spare none. One who has taken birth, he will have to leave. And along with time, what happens? The human body also deteriorates because time and age leaves none. So, time and aging have not spared the poetess mother and may not spare her as well. So, with this aging, separation and death become inevitable. Now, next question is why are the young trees described as sprinting? Sprinting, children, means jumping. So, the poet is driving to the Cochin airport, and when she looks outside, the young trees seem to walking past them. With the speed of the car, they seem to be running fast or sprinting. Alright, So what happens? It's a phenomena of physics that when you move, when you're suppose moving in a car or a bus, so what happens is if you look out the window, you will find that trees are moving back with the same speed. So it appears that trees are sprinting, they are jumping. This is the imagination of the poetess. The poet is driving to the Cochin airport, and when she looks outside, the young trees seem to be walking past them. And with the speed of the car, they seem to be running fast or sprinting, means or running. Now, the poet presents a contrast here. Her dozing mother, her dozing old mother, and the sprinting young trees. So, the mother was weak, feeble, could not walk or barely walk, but trees were jumping and moving ahead. So, here a contrast has been presented by the poet. Now, next question, why has the poet brought in the image of the married children spilling out of their homes? So, the poet has brought in the image of married children spilling out of their homes to present a contrast. See, as the poet has presented the contrast of the sprinting trees, in the same way, the poet has brought forward the married children who were spilling out means spill is a word which is used for liquids, spilling. Oil spill, ink spill. Suppose your ink bottle is there and it gets overturned and then ink gets onto the floor or something like that. So that is spilling. When something liquid comes out, that is spilling. Alright, now I think you can understand much better what is the meaning of spilling. So here children have been termed as spilling out of their homes. Actually, again, the same contrast has been presented here. The married children coming out of their homes in large numbers present an image of happiness and spontaneous overflow of life. Alright? Means what happens? Means if any overflow is there, it comes like this. So the married children, marry means happy children, signify that happiness and young life, youth, enjoyment, energy. Now this image is in stark contrast to the dozing old mother. But mother was dozing. Doze means nap, sleep. Alright. So mother was dozing and her ashen face, ash. What is the meaning of ash? Something when it gets burnt, whatever is left over is termed as ash. Alright. So her face has been termed as ashen. See, it is the natural process that according to Hindu customary, the body is burnt, and that is the last ceremony of that person. All right. So here, if we just try to imagine what was going on in the mind of the poetess, so we'll try to know that actually maybe she was describing about the last ceremony of the human being, that is the death ceremony, where the body turns into ash, and that thing is very difficult to bear. A person gets perplexed what to do. Now, I think the same feeling was there in the mind of the poetess. So, he just compares that face to the ashen face, which looks lifeless and pale like that of a corpse. See, again, face has been compared to a corpse. Corpse here means children, dead body. Now, see an image of aging, decay, and passivity. Children, positivity, life, energy. But mother was a symbolism of aging, decay, and passivity. This contrast of two images enhances the poetic effect. Next question, children. Why has the mother been compared to the late winter's moon? So, the poet's mother is 66 years old as the title suggests, my mother at 66. Her shrunken face and her face with wrinkles, ashen face resembles that of a corpse. She has lost her sign and strength of youth, and she is not maybe dependent on medicines. Similarly, late winter's moons look hazy and obscure. So late winter's moons appears yellowish. It appears lacking any vigor, vitality, and energy. Moon also lacks sign and strength. Alright, that's why the poet has compared the face of her mother to late winter's moon. The comparison is quite natural and appropriate. And the simile used here is apt as well as effective, like late winter's moon. The use of as and like is there in the simile. Whenever we use simile, all right, when there is a direct comparison, as and like words are used. But when there is direct comparison, it is metaphor. For example, if I use here the proverb, time is money. Time is money. So, what kind of figure of speech is there in this? It means time has been compared to money, but without the use of as and like. So, here is the use of the poetic speech metaphor. So, simile is there when there is use of as and like. So, in this lines, as late winter's moon. So, as was used. So, here you can say that the poetic device is simile. What do the parting words, the poet and her smile, signify? So, parting word means when the poet was parting away from her mother at the Cochin airport. So, what did the poetess say? See you soon, Amma. So, the poet's parting words of assurance and her smile pair a stark contrast with the old familiar ache or fear of the childhood. See, on one side, there was the old familiar pain. Ache means pain or fear of the childhood. And what was it? That one day she will lose her mother. And when she says, see you soon, Amma, it is in totally contrast with the familiar ache. And now, as the mother had reached the age of 66, so anything could happen. But her words and smiles are a deliberate attempt to hide her real feelings. Actually, she wanted to hide her feelings. She didn't want to reveal what's churning inside her, what was churning her imaginations. And that was the pain and the fear of losing her mother. So, to hide away that thing, the poetess used the word, see you soon, Amma. And it was to give an assurance to the old lady and moreover children. If we go in detail, she wanted to assure herself also that when she will return to her mother would be fit and fine, and she would be able to just talk to her mother as she is talking just now. Alright, because nothing could be said at that time, at that age. So she said these parting words, see you soon, Amma, to give assurance to the old lady that mother, don't worry, nothing will happen to you. We will meet again. Because as the daughter loved her mother with same intensity, the mother also loved her daughter. So to assure her mother and on the contrary to assure herself also, she used those words. Although the old lady's face was ashen like that of a corpse. Similarly, her continuous smiles are an attempt to overcome the ache and fear inside her heart. So, whatever pain was there in her heart, her continuous smiles. She smiled, smiled, and smiled. So her continuous smiles were there to hide her feelings of pain and fear. So, children, I hope the discussion of these questions, some MCQs, and these short answer type questions uh, may prove beneficial to you. Okay, so understand these questions and try to attempt more like this. And once again, I'm talking to you, children, that I'm providing you sample papers, and I hope that all of you will solve the sample papers and try to solve the sample papers in one go. It means sit for continuous 3 hours, make it an exam atmosphere. Sit for 3 hours and solve the paper for 3 hours continuously. Don't do like it half 40 marks half and then 40 marks other half. No. Solve continuously so that you may have the practice for final examination. Because as children, it's become very difficult. Although we know the answers, but just due to the habit of not writing continuously, our fingers they don't work. All right, they turn numb. They try to become you know out of order. We are not able to write, and they get tired quickly. In exams you have to maintain your speed also, and you have to maintain the neatness and cleanliness, and then the legible handwriting also. So for that you have to make writing practice also. So as my suggestion, children, as English paper requires a lot of writing, so I hope that you will solve the sample papers, as well as you will maintain your writing speed as well as the clarity of handwriting. So children, until my next video, thank you and goodbye, and this much only in this video. Thank you again.